Today's episode of DRL is brought to you by Hella Cocktail Company. My guests don't just come to DRL for me. They also come for the cocktails. Luckily, my friends at Hella Cocktail Company have my back. These guys make amazing mixes, from Bloody Mary to Margarita to Moscow Mule. They also make cocktail bitters, my secret ingredient, and now yours too. It's easy to feel like the best bartender in town when every bottle comes with a simple recipe on it. Hella Cocktail Company, bold flavor, real ingredients, hospitality. Mixing it up since 2011. Shop the collection on Amazon Prime or use code DRL online at hellacocktail.co for free shipping. Hello, my lovely listeners. Welcome back to another episode of DRL, where we're talking everything dating, relationships, and love. I'm your host, Tennesha Wood. So my guest today walked in, and the first thing I said, which I'm sure he hears every single day, I was like, wow, you're tall. He is 6'10". Hi, Hamish.
Hi there.
How are you?
I'm great, thanks.
So Hamish is a personal trainer, and before all of you ask, I will just let you know he did play basketball.
I was a personal trainer.
You were a personal trainer.
Not anymore. I'm just an entrepreneur.
So what do you do?
I have a health and wellness company. So what we do is we dispatch massage therapists, personal trainers, yoga instructors, acupuncturists in different places.
I sometimes do Zeal.
Okay.
Where they'll come to the apartment.
They're competitive.
And it's funny. Chris, my boyfriend, got me a massage one time when he was out of town, and like I had just had a really long week and I was tired. So, dude, he comes in and, you know, they lay the table out and everything. And so I was just in my underwear and I just got on top of all the sheets and everything. But again, I was so tired that...
Was he your first one?
It wasn't, but you know what? I just wasn't thinking. So he comes out and he was like, oh, whoa, you go under the sheet. Right, and then he goes back into the bathroom. So then later on after the massage, I was like, so what's the...
Hold on. You were on the sheet with no clothes?
Well, no, I had underwear on.
Oh, okay.
But I was face down, so you couldn't see anything. Okay. And so as soon as he comes out, he's like, "Oh, no, you're supposed to be under the sheet. I'm gonna go back into the bathroom." So at the end of the massage, I'm like, "So how's the app? Like, you know, is it cool? Is it like weirdos?" And he was like, "Yeah, sometimes you get some real weirdos, but generally, you know, everybody's good." And I was like, wait, he's probably thinking that I was the weirdo. And I was like, I wasn't even trying to be weird. I was just tired and not thinking. To end up as one of these weird stories. Yeah, so I am. So just so you guys know, he's like 6'10". I'm going to assume 300 pounds. And so he's a guy that stands out. And so do women approach you because of that?
Yes. Whether I'm in the gym or whether I'm in an office somewhere, in an elevator, it almost happens every time I get in an elevator. I think it just comes with the territory, I guess. But
do they approach you in a way that's very personal, or is it just they're saying, "Oh, you're tall," or are they like hitting on you?
You mix it out. It's a mix.
What do they normally say?
Depending on where you are, like I've had the chance or the opportunity to travel in different countries. I live in different continents. Here in America, women are more aggressive. Mm-hmm. Here in New York, women are more aggressive than anywhere I lived in. They will let you know here. But you'd find some who would start a conversation, and so they would start saying something about your height, or it could be about your shoes, right? Because I'm size 18, right? So a woman would notice that.
Do you have to get shoes custom made? Do they sell size 18 shoes just out in the streets?
Yeah, they do. They just don't. We just can't walk in anywhere. But so do my clothes. I mean,
you never get the sale shoes then. Like I wear a size 7.5, so I'm always able to get nice clearance shoes.
It's one of those things. Like if you're 6'10", you better not be broke.
Because I can't afford to be that tall.
Right. I like to say I can't afford to be broke, because whether it's the place you live in, whether it's the, what you wear, you're going to have to get things that are not accessible to everybody.
Right.
And that usually comes with a price. And you can't just walk in a place and not be noticed.
Right.
You can't just...
Now, that being said, when the women in New York are noticing you, what are they saying versus women in other countries that you find to be more aggressive?
They would literally say, hey, oh my gosh, you're so handsome. They would say from that to oh my gosh, look at this, and they would start touching. Mm-hmm. I mean, the whole Me Too thing.
It doesn't work the other way around.
It wouldn't work for me, I can tell you. But I have stories. Whether it's at the club, whether it's at, anywhere.
What's the craziest thing a woman has said in her approach to you?
Being an entrepreneur, I have to raise funds. Mm-hmm. For my ventures, for this company, I had to raise some money and whatnot, and I showed up at this VC company. Mm-hmm. This VC, they invest in companies, and the lady basically gave me her card and texted me that night and asked me to come to her hotel.
Well, did she give you the funding?
No, she did not, because I did not go.
I'm sorry you got Me Too'd.
Well, I'm just saying, like, it happens both ways. I think
right.
I would not necessarily say that it happens as much as an attractive woman, but it does happen. Whether it's me showing up with a girlfriend at a club and being touching about this and that while I'm with someone. Mm-hmm.
Women do that? So they'll just touch you?
Yes, women do that.
While you're with another woman?
Yeah. Women have a way to let me know that, hey, I'm here, right? Like, as I'm walking, because they may not see. And so I'm just used to that. But whether it's I'm with friends and all that stuff, it's been a while now.
Have you ever thought about calling a woman out? Have you ever thought about saying,
no.
Hey, we don't know each other like that yet?
Thought about it? No, because I've always believed that it's all about what I do in response. Right. And in a way, I look at things and I try to, every situation, like I said, I used to tell my people, look at every situation and find the good in it. The good in it is there are people who would love to get attention when they're walking. And I don't
want anybody touching me that doesn't know me.
No, I get it. but I guess what I'm saying is, the way I look at it is, hey, as long as I don't reciprocate, as long as I don't, do the same. Right. They usually will stop. Where a man would be like on your face, right, the whole night. That's their way to say, hey, I'm here. Look at me. Right. Right. So I don't take that person.
Just some advice to people out there. No matter how tall somebody is, don't touch them unsolicited, man or woman. Just don't.
But it does bother the people that I'm with.
I could see that.
They find that disrespectful.
Are you single right now, or dating, or what's your status now?
I don't know what my status is. I'm kind of seeing someone.
You're seeing someone. How long have you guys been seeing each other?
I don't know. It's
Men never know these things.
Yeah, because it's kind of like, it's tough. I never
know. A year,
when to,
a month, a decade.
I never know when to from where to pinpoint it, right?
Okay, how long has this person been in your life? A month, a year, or a decade? Let's start there.
You're gonna give me trouble. Months.
Months. Okay. Yeah. So you're dating. How did you guys meet?
We met online.
Okay, like on a dating site?
Something like that.
What is the something?
Something, like social media and all that stuff. They're all dating sites. It all depends on what you're using.
So you slid into her DMs?
No, I don't slid on nobody's DMs.
Oh, okay, my bad. She slid into your DMs?
I don't slid. All I'm gonna say is I don't want to, because I know she gonna listen. I don't slide on nobody's DMs.
Okay. He's made that clear. I don't slide into anybody's DMs or anybody that's... Did she slide into your DMs?
I don't slide on nobody's DM. Let's just say that.
Okay, so you guys interacted somehow on social media.
Mm-hmm. Here's my thing. I think when it comes to social media, though, like what gets me, I want an intelligent woman, right? And I think what I like is when the woman can let me know, can tell me something substantial, something with substance. Not just I like how you look, or wow, you're so handsome type of thing. Right. Everybody says that, right? So to me, it's like, what is it that you're going to tell me that's going to get my attention? Whether it's how many languages you speak, because I'm not from here. Or I want to know that you have a passport, and that you've traveled. I want to know that, and so when I go on your page or, and for me, I travel a lot. I don't post where I go on my page. I only post it on my stories. But when I go on air, because I know most people do, I would try to see if they've been overseas. And usually that spikes my interest. I want to be able to, if I meet somebody and have a family, I want to move with her. I don't want to waste my time. Like I'm at a point where I've dated. And
how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 38.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't mind saying that.
Have you been married or anything?
I have been married.
Yeah?
I've been married, and that's the thing, I've done now.
How long were you married?
I was married a year, believe it or not.
That was kind of short.
A year and a half, if you want to count the divorce proceedings.
How long were you guys together before?
5.5.
5.5 years and then a year of marriage.
Yeah, so it feels like I was married for 6.5 years.
Got it. What happened?
It just didn't work. Everything was great until we got married.
This was here in the States?
In Minnesota. Yeah, I was married in Minnesota. I had met this girl, a wonderful girl, and I didn't think I would get divorced, and during the marriage, things just changed, and I was like, I'm not happy. I don't think that's for me.
Do you think it was the same on both sides?
No.
She wasn't feeling the same way?
She wanted to stay with me, but I wasn't happy.
So you were the one who said, let's call it quits? Mm-hmm. Was that a hard decision? Because it had been?
Very hard. What
ultimately made you decide this isn't going to change and I'm not going to get any happier?
When I found out that she cheated on me.
You found out or she told you?
I found out.
Okay, that's rough.
Mm-hmm. It is what it is.
Do you think you could have forgiven it?
I could have forgiven it. 2 years after the marriage, well, here's the thing. The first year after the marriage, I was still heartbroken. But now looking in hindsight, I would have worked things out. Mm-hmm. I would have worked things out. I would have stayed with her. But things happen the way they happen, and you just gotta keep going. She's married now, and I'm happy for her. I'm happy for her.
Wow.
Yeah. And things happen a way that sometimes you can't see. Like I found out after the thing, she told me she couldn't have kids. Because we talked after, a year after that, and we had a closure and everything. And she told me that she found out, because we had been trying to have kids.
Right.
She told me that she found out from the doctors that she can't have kids.
Wow.
And a year after I divorced from her, I had my daughter.
Wow.
So, so I can't look at it and be sad.
How old's your daughter?
My daughter is 3 years old.
Wow.
I have a beautiful daughter.
Do you have a picture?
Mm-hmm.
What's her name?
Her name is Mia.
Oh, cute. She is so adorable.
Yeah.
Now you just got that Drake song in my head that I don't know the words to.
Which one?
He has this song. It's not his song. He's featured on it, but he's like, something, Mia.
I think
Mia.
So. I think I know.
I literally only know the words Mia in the song, and that's it. Yeah. How is it dating with a child?
Well, my child is not really in my life. Like I wish she was. Mm-hmm. Because I'm here and I'm trying to focus on this. Mm-hmm. Her mom and I are not on good terms, but I try to see her whenever I can when I go to Chicago. It's different when you live in a different state.
Yeah.
So I wish I could have FaceTime with her every night, but her mom did not really take the fact that I didn't want to be with her.
You guys were together prior?
That's the thing. We weren't really together. To be fair, we were seeing each other. Mm-hmm. We were seeing each other, but I was still we only were together for so to speak, for a month and a half. It's that period where you're still trying to figure out if you like the person or not. And then I was like, and then the day I told her, listen, this is not going to work, she tells me I'm pregnant.
So you guys at that point were still really getting to know each other, and then...
Yeah. This is the thing. So I tell her, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to be different than most guys. She's pregnant. I'm going to be there for her. But
as the father, but not as your partner.
There was nothing, meaning did not try to touch her or anything.
Right.
Right? And I feel like that's where I messed up.
Because you think that she started to gain more feelings based on you being there during that time.
More like resentment, because I wasn't really necessarily, because I was still in a different city. I was in Minneapolis and Chicago, so I was there on weekends.
Right.
And when I was there on weekends, every weekend I would take her to brunch on Sunday. And then next thing I know, while we agreed on how much I'd give her for the baby, how much I'd be there, she just posed the whole let's go to court type of thing. During that time, I was dating other people. I mean, I was, we were together. So I didn't feel like I needed to.
Now, when you were dating other people, did you tell them you had a child on the way? And how did they react?
I didn't even say anything because it was literally just like dating. Do you know what I mean? Like I was literally dating, like Friday night with somebody, Saturday brunch with someone, Saturday night with someone.
Oh, got it.
Like that. Like literally dating.
I have a friend who likes to say, you was in them streets a little bit.
Yeah, like I was like serial dating. Yeah, because I was trying to find someone. So, I was on I had tried the app Match.com, and man, was that for some reason it was a hit. So I had my assistant book a date Friday night, Saturday brunch. It was different people, and then Sunday before I left, I would take her out. So I think at some point it got out.
So how was that during that period where you were serial dating? Did you enjoy it, or did you sort of feel like it's kind of a job in a way because here I'm trying to find somebody, so let me just book as many of these as I can and hopefully the right person's there? Or were you actually having fun?
So just to be clear, those were my low moments. Okay, it's not something I'm proud of. And I don't advocate that because I feel like women should be treated better. But I was coming from where I came from. I was in a different state of mind. Mm-hmm. I wasn't ready to trust anyone. So it wasn't even about that baby mama. It wasn't even anybody.
So this was after the divorce, and
after the divorce. So I still had those things in my head, in my heart, and so no matter who would have come, I think I would have screwed up,
right?
Because I didn't care about anybody's feelings. Mm-hmm. I was dating.
You were just trying. It sounds like you were just trying to numb your own feelings at that point,
right? I was numb, and I think, like I said, I wasn't. I'm not proud of it, but I was seeing. I think at one point I counted, I was seeing like 11 women at the same time. Every woman would show up at my place every night. It was crazy. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, shoot, like what the heck was I thinking?
Okay, I always wonder this from a guy's perspective versus a woman's perspective, but did you feel empty after those encounters?
Yes.
Or was it actually fun? Or did you feel like this is really nothing? Like this person really means nothing to me. I don't really mean anything to them. Like how were you feeling on the inside?
I knew I meant something to them, and that's where I feel like it's wrong. They each wanted, and they each told me, because I was like, that's the thing about me. I was honest with everyone. I was like, hey, just so you know, this is what I went through. I'm dating. I don't want any relationships. I don't really care. If it's not for you, we good. Mm-hmm. Right? And each one of them told me, Hamish, I understand, no worries, I'll be there. The women always say that because they think they're going to be the one to change them.
I'm really not an advocate of casual sex, and this is the exact reason why. I do think that when we have sex with people, it creates a bond and a connection, and whether that's actually there, it's occurring in our minds and in our bodies. They might think in the beginning, yeah, I could do that. This could just be a fun sexual thing.
Right.
But I think once fluids are exchanged, feelings are exchanged, and you can't, it's not so easy to just walk away.
That's very true. And again, just to give you a little background about my life, right? I was born in Congo, Central Africa. Mm-hmm. I was 5 years when we moved to France. So, I'm a French citizen. I moved from here. From Paris to here at 18, 19. Mm-hmm. So I've seen different, cultures and how they operate. But I identify a little more with my African origins. Mm-hmm. And so talking to my dad and all that stuff, I learned so much about how our ancestors used to live. I'm wired differently than you. No matter, we could go out and you can excel and go and impress people and actually be smaller than me. But we fight. I'm genetically stronger than you, so it doesn't...
You're also 6'10". I mean, if you were 5'5", dude, I might could take you. So, okay.
but yeah, so that's what I mean, right? And so there's just certain things, but I feel like that's what the beauty of the world, though. We have to embrace that and know that, okay, a man is the man.
Right.
And this is what I tell my women, like, if I'm going to be with you, I want you to let me be the man. I'll be the man.
I'm all about equality, but at the same time, I want a man to be a man. But at the same time, there's women who say, no, I want to split the bill. No, I don't want. And I'm like, I'm very old fashioned in ways like this.
Listen, when it comes, as far as I'm concerned, I think it's different for people. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's right also to have everybody act the same way because circumstances are different.
Right.
Like I can afford to pay for dinner. I can't say the same for someone who has a 9-to-5 job and barely.
I disagree with that. Because here's why: you can always afford something if you're creative, mm-hmm. right? So am I suggesting that, well, he needs to pay for this 5-star restaurant at the best restaurant in New York and then no. If I say, oh, I really like Thai food, maybe you could say, oh, I learned this great recipe. Like, do you want me to cook for you? So there's always a way to be a gentleman. Right. There's always a way.
But I also know that women, sometimes it's nice to go out, to go eat.
Of course. I'm not saying every woman, but if I were a guy, you know what I would do? I would kill it as a dude. No joke. Understand. You know what I would do? I would listen to everything she said. And if she was like, yeah, I'm just like really searching for amazing Thai food. And I would find a place, a cheap place, but it would be and I would research and I would go to this, but it would be so good. And I'm like, look, there's this place. It's kind of a hole in the wall, right. But they have the best pad Thai you will ever taste in your life.
Right.
And when a woman, anybody feels like, oh, I'm being listened to, he heard what I had to say, right. She's really not about to be like, he took me to this cheap place. The story becomes, he listened to everything I say, and man, I had the best pad Thai I ever had. So there's ways to be creative. So yes, we all are at different places with our money, but there's ways to be creative, and you can still be a gentleman.
I get it. I understand what you're saying. For one, like I love to cook. And in fact, one of my best dates have been at home mm-hmm. when I cooked for the person and they came over. So I totally advocate that. And I think, yes, men should do put a lot more effort in researching cheaper ways. However, I'm talking just like in general. I think there's certain things where, and also I'm saying that because, again, I'm really careful about commenting on other people's lives because my circumstances may be different than others. I think I've seen guys and I've talked to guys who they would date a girl and they know that they're dating somebody who's better looking than them or that's at another level. And so because of that and because of the way they grew up or how secure they feel like they have to do certain things. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I have to say, dude, you don't have to do that. She's good. Like, you're good. Don't. But they feel like they have to. So, it goes from how you were brought up, how secure you feel, and all of that. The only thing I would say about that is, don't get me wrong. Like, I love it when my woman pays for dinner. But for the most part, I would. And usually what I expect is for me to pay 9 times out of 10. So I just want you to pay that one time.
Most women don't expect the opposite. Most women aren't like, oh, I only expect to pay once. But
no, I think most women expect you to pay.
No. But I'm saying they don't expect to pay 1 out of 10 times, particularly as a relationship progresses. But I'm just saying in the beginning and particularly, a lot of that, it's just the rules and being a gentleman has really gone out the window. Mm-hmm. It's they expect to pay 0 times or we split everything. Right. And I'm like, it's just tacky to me. It really is just, I don't care how progressive we are and where we are in society now. It's really tacky to me to ask somebody to do something, ask somebody to go out with you, or even if it's just a girlfriend and I am like, hey, I want to take you out. Like, I'm going to take you out because that's what I want to do, because I want to be a nice friend, because I said I would. And like, so it really,
I don't enjoy dating anymore, to be honest with you. I'm hoping that, and I say that openly on my IG, that my plan is, starting in January, February, I'm going to start having a family. And I'm done. I'm tired of dating. I don't want to date anymore. But obviously, it's a necessary.
Well, you got to kind of start there to get to the family part. You're going to go up to somebody on the street. Hey, do you want to start a family? Right. I'm going to skip the whole dating part.
Exactly. But I don't enjoy it as much as I used to. All in all, I to go back to what we were saying, I'm grateful for the experiences that that I've been through, because I feel like good and bad, they made me who I am today. And today I can be a better man to anybody I'm dating because of what I went through. And also because of some of the things that I've done that I'm not so proud of. So,
what do you think you learned from those experiences?
I would say mainly from my marriage, because I don't think it'd be fair for me to paint her as the bad one. I think I was, in a sense that as a man, what you put in is usually, not always, but usually what you get out. I think relationships are just like flowers, where you have to water them daily. And if you don't, then they die, right? Or they start dying. And I think it's also easy for a man to feel a little more lazy and feel like, take the other person for granted and knowing that they're going to be there, thinking that they're going to be there regardless. And so I think that was my mistake, is to take the people that were in my life for granted. But luckily, I would say for 90% of my previous relationships, I've tried to maintain a good exit, where I could still call them today and ask how they're doing,
right? And
everything will be fine. We will still meet up, and everything will be fine. I think the ones that there may be one or two that, maybe one actually, or one that I don't talk to because I feel like she really did me wrong. And
what did she do?
She just did me wrong. Like the first year that we were together, she was a public figure. She's a public figure, quote unquote celebrity or whatever. She didn't really want it to be public. So I was like that guy, like the guy.
She tried to side chick you.
in a way. But although I was the man, I was her man. I was known only among the friends, like the close friends.
Right.
And so we would be at the public places, and I'd be,
on one side, she's on the other.
Yeah, type of thing. Or we would be together, but not really in a way that's, really telling. And then we ended up breaking up. But then she came back. And when she came back really hard. Like, I took you for granted. I told my dad about you. I told my mom. Not everybody knew.
Right. Too late. Because at that point I was like, oh, I'm not falling for her again. I'm not going to put myself back in that position. Right.
Because it really hurt the first time. Then we broke up for 9-10 months or a year. And then we got back together again. Right. But I was moving here. And so when I got here, she was like calling me, crying and this and that. And I was just like, you know what? I don't know. Give me some time type of thing. And then when I finally said no, guess what? So I have another friend who happens to be a celebrity. Next thing I know, maybe not even like a month later, and she was like, I'm ready to give you the child you want, blah, blah, blah. Let's have a family, right? And I'm like, now I'm hearing the things that I always wanted to hear. So, but I still said no. Not even a month. My good friend, who's also a celebrity, a big celebrity actually, shows me. He's like, we're driving. He's like, man, he's like this girl. She messaged me. I don't know, because he got a bunch of girls. And then I'm like, oh yeah. He goes, yeah, you might know her. She's this and that. I gave her his phone, and I look at the text messages. It's my ex.
Oh.
So the pictures she was sending me.
Oh.
She would send to him. She was sending him.
Well, when you get one nice selfie, though, sometimes. No, I'm kidding.
Anyways, wow. I read the messages, right? And man, it was just like, but see, this time
she was saying all the same stuff, or what was she saying in the messages?
No, but it was more like she was basically, they were like sexting in a way, right?
Wow.
And then but then I was like, wow. 2 weeks ago, you were in my DM crying and telling me that you're ready to have kids and this and that. Now, I was like, then I was right. My intuitions were right.
Right.
So, but at that point, it was like somebody, instead of somebody stabbing me, I was just like, I'm so happy this happy, did not give me the second time. And so I confronted her, and I told her what I really thought of her. And I told her, I was like, you know what? I hope whatever you deserve happens to you. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, and this is why I'm pretty sure you're going to be single for a long time. That's the only one that I blocked. That's the only one that I don't even want to, till this day, I'm like, I'm not mad anymore, but I'm just like, she's just a low person. She's not worth it.
Wow.
So.
Same pictures. Hold on. Now, you remember that? What was that? It was Usher and who sang that one song? It was called Same Girl. Usher and R. Kelly. Yeah. Messing with the same girl. Yeah. How could the love of my life and my potential wife be the same girl?
It happens more times than you think. In fact, when I'm talking to a girl and she sends me, and I say, she sent me a selfie, or I always tell them, please make sure, the only thing I ask, make sure that you took this picture for me. Yeah. I do not want to. If I find out that you took it before, I ask, before, I'm not even keeping it on my phone. Because I know what girls do. And I'm like, and I tell her, whatever you do, just don't send a picture that you took for somebody else. Send me a picture that you took for me. That's it.
But sometimes, though, you do get one nice selfie. That's like, hey, I got this selfie got to be recycled.
Right. And I tell them, no, keep that to yourself. Just send
keep that for yourself.
Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? That's fine. Just send me whatever you have in bed, even if you don't have makeup, whatever. That's the one that I want. Because I know that one was taken from me. And knowing that, that's what makes me feel special.
Oh, all right, girls, there's a tip. One selfie per dude.
Yeah. And you'd be surprised. Like, just last night, I was with my friend, Tyson Beckford. And I don't want to drop names here, but I was with him at the show, and Victoria's Secret show, and we actually, at the end, we were talking about this one model who it happened to him, and then another guy.
Where they were exchanging, looking at pictures, and next thing you know.
She was sending the same pictures, and then he was with his friend in Milan, and they were like, yo, like this girl, blah, blah, blah. Her name came up, and they're like, man, I got some pictures of her. They pull up their phones, they see the exact same pictures.
Well, why are men telling their business and sharing selfies anyway? If I send you a photo, but let's say whether I take it in that moment for you or not for you, but if I send you a photo,
right.
I mean that photo for you, whether it's a sexual photo or a non-sexual photo, it is meant for you.
I agree.
Not your friends. So why are your friends seeing it?
But if I'm
how do we even comparing it?
If I'm with my friend and he tells me, Tennesha, I got some pictures of her on my phone, I'm going to be like, oh, I got some pictures of her too. So we're going to pull up our phones and look at the and compare the pictures. That's what...
that's why I don't send none of those pictures to begin with.
No, women, please don't send the same pictures at the same time while you're talking to two guys at the same time. It's just not... And it makes you look bad. I just don't think it's the right thing to do. If you're going to talk, listen, I get it, right? Like, guys do the same thing in a way. Like, they talk to different people at the same time. But, like, pick who's, like, at the selfie, sexy picture level. Mm-hmm. Pick who's going to be, like, just getting your smile. Pick who's going to be, like, just getting your emojis or emoticons, Like, don't send...
But isn't that truly, though, a part of dating, right? Isn't that until... you and I have established what we are or where we're going to go with this, we are open to dating other people. And so if a part of me...
Very true.
If a part of me dating you is, okay, part of our communication is sending pictures and emojis, that's also open to other people.
Very true. However, to me, I feel like it's very true, but the part of talking to different people, I'm totally fine with that. Mm-hmm. To me, it's just the part of intimacy. It's just like if I'm seeing you and I'm sleeping, I'm being intimate with you. You probably, and we're not at the point where we decided what yet or we were exclusive, right? But if I'm telling you I'm seeing or I'm talking to other people, you probably would want to know that you're just talking to them. But if I'm telling you that I'm being intimate to each one of them, mm-hmm. then I think you look at it differently. And I think that's just what it is. I think there's pictures and pictures. And I think that's where Because, just so you know, like, I'm being asked the same thing. Like, girls ask me, oh, can I get one of yours too? I'm like, no. And I know it's not fair, but I'm like, no, I don't. Because until I know for sure that who you are and I'm like really with you, I'm not. First of all, I don't send. I tell them I only receive.
So for you, a picture is a phone conversation is an intimate thing in a way.
If it's a picture that shows your butt, yes. If it's a picture that shows one of your private parts,
well, yes, but I was talking just like selfies or.
But I was talking about the other part.
Oh, got it.
I was saying those pictures.
Well, nobody should send those anyway. I'm just saying.
And then pictures in lingerie and all that stuff. Yeah, I think I'll be pissed off if you take that picture for me, because some of the pictures that she sent to my boy, I know she took those pictures for me. That's when we were dating.
Right.
Right, and one of those pictures she sent to him. No, two of those pictures she sent to him way later. So I was just like, oh, I know this picture.
Not only do I know this girl, but I know this picture.
Yeah. But I didn't say anything to my friend at the time. When I saw that, I was just like, wow. Inside, right? I was just like, wow. And he goes, what, you know her? I'm like, no. And you know what's funny? Is so a year before when I was dating the girl, I was in Vegas with my friend and she FaceTimed me. The crazy thing
with the same friend that you were in the car with?
Yeah, the crazy thing is I'm the one who introduced them to each other. You know, the whole Kim Kardashian.
But so he didn't know. He didn't know that.
The thing is, he was drunk and high that night, and he basically just like got in there, like literally, he's like, yo, he really cares for you. Blah, blah. He's like, he really cares for you and all. And then that was it. So he really, a year later, Like,
how come the burden's on her though and not him? Because he was drunk and didn't remember?
Because she knew how close we are. She knew how close we are, and she did that on purpose. 2 weeks after she told me she wanted to have my baby. That says it all there. I mean, like, the guy's a guy. Like, in fact, he just was like, oh, look at this.
But if you and him are that close, how come he never heard about her?
He heard about her, but he didn't know what she looked like.
Okay, got it.
Do you know what I mean?
But did he know her name?
I by now he heard 20 names from me, right? So like, only my dad remembers the.
But that's the thing. Names. If you had 20 names to give, was she that special?
She was, in a sense that she was my girlfriend. Do you know what I mean? Like she was my girlfriend. Mm-hmm. Like, I could tell, as guys, I could say, hey, this girl, Michelle, texting me today again. If you telling me this and all I know as your boy, like, she's just one of your, just a chick, I'll be like, oh, okay. But if you're telling me, oh, this is my girl, then I would really want to know what's going on, right? And so I would say it's a little different because she lives in a different city. So it's not like he met her face to face. So
why didn't you say to him in that moment when you realized that that's the same girl? Right. Why didn't you say to him, hey, you remember that girl that I was really in love with, or that I had feelings for? Like, that's her. So. Right. Why did you stay silent
honestly,
about it?
I just wanted to process it for a little bit, and I wanted to get home and call her. I didn't want anything to be, like, I didn't want to tell him, and then next thing you know, he's going to text her and be like, yo, Hamish found out, yo, he's about to take, and then for her to not pick up my calls. I was like, you know what? I don't want anybody to know. I'm going to talk to her first, then I'm going to let him know. But I want to see her in her face. So I FaceTimed her. You know what I did? I went back and I was like, I've been thinking so much. I think I'm ready, blah, blah, blah. Let's talk. Mm-hmm. So she FaceTimed me right away. She wasn't even in her hometown. She was in Chicago at the time. She FaceTimed me. And I'm like talking to her. I'm like, so are you being blah, blah, blah. So I'm like playing her cool. And I'm like, you still want to make it happen? She goes, sure, I'm just kind of mad at you, blah, blah, blah. But, I care for you. But I could tell she still cared. And then I'm like, oh, yeah? So tell me about this, bam. So I just put it out there.
But you still need to tell your boy, though.
I did after
just
that.
In terms of you might want to watch out for this.
Oh, I did after that. And I told him, I was like, yo, remember that night? Blah, blah, blah. He was like, oh.
Same girl.
Yeah, he's like, no way. He's like, yo, I'm sorry. Like, I believed him. I know. Like, I know all the, like, it wasn't like that. He gave me the phone. He's like, I read all the text messages. Like, he had no, and after that, he blacked up.
So you said that your plan for 2019 is to start a family.
Yes.
How are you going to make that happen?
Somebody going to get pregnant. Yeah, no, I think for me, the way things happen is I kind of have to give myself a timeline. Otherwise, it's easy for me to get drowned in my everyday activities. Right. So I'm going into relationships with the intent of solely like starting a family. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not about, oh yeah, I just want to quote unquote smash that type of thing. I look at a woman and I'm like, if she's not a wifey material, I don't even waste my time. Like, seriously, like I've gone through that. I've did the other stuff. The whole, oh gosh, I want her to be on my phone. I want her to be seen with me type of thing.
You're just ready for the next level.
Yeah, when you grow and you realize that the looks, all of that, when you're home and you're like on that girl's lap, and she's like picking on your face, none of that matters. Right. Like, at that point, it's all 100% energy, right? And that's what I'm looking for now. Like, if I can lay on the couch, and at that point not think of anything else that's going on outside, then you're not my girl. Then you're not made for me. So that's real though. Like, when you're with that right person, anything outside of you guys in that moment, it doesn't matter. Yeah. It really doesn't matter. When you can get that text from your boy and he's like, yo, I'm heading to this is happening. And you like on that lap and your girl, like, for me it's big because I got ingrown hair. Like, that girl is like
plucking out the
and my girl, she gives me like whether it's that or giving me a massage or whatever. Like, I'm like, no, I'm good.
Right.
I catch you another time. Tonight it's our night, so I can't.
Right.
Right. So there's just like, you get to that point, that's when I know that, oh, okay, I got a good one, and
That's Chris's and I favorite activity is me plucking out his ingrown hairs out his beard. He'll save them. Like, if I'm out of town, he'll be like, I have one you're gonna love.
Yeah, and that's where that's like I'm into nurturing women, and so, you know, when I find women that are, you know, like, if I'm with a girl, seriously, like, it doesn't matter. I'm not kidding. Like, it doesn't matter how pretty she is and all that, or what she has. If I can get home, we can be home, and I feel like she's taking care of me. Right. Right. Like, you know, I provide in other ways. Like, I take, you know, but like, at that moment, she's taking care of me. We're not gonna last.
So, what are the top three things you would say in case your 2019, you know, lady you're looking to start a family with is listening? What are the three things you would say are absolutely most important, have to have
for women?
For you?
For
your wifey might be listening. What do you want her to know?
Yeah. I mean, I hope she's listening. For me, I want a woman who can show me that she's multicultural. To me, it's very big. Like, I really care about that. Like, I want my kids to grow up knowing that, being proud of being African, because half African, whatever they may be. Right. Because I feel like that's one of the big things, and you know, we underestimate that, but remember, that was one of the big things that back in the days in slavery that the white men have really accomplished, is to get rid of, like, really make sure that, you know, the Africans who came over lost their their culture, their identity. That has, till this day, right, has really made our people suffer, I feel like. So to me, I'm like, I want my kids to grow up with that, because with knowing that, they'll be able to go home, they'll be able to go and look at the world from a different lens, right? That in itself makes so much of a difference. Like, to me, I don't. Like, I see the world differently today, and I can treat people differently because of the fact that I'm from overseas.
Right. So somebody with a global perspective and understands their own culture and understands yours as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Number one, you got to have your passport. You got to be able to travel.
Okay.
2, no matter what you make, no matter what you got, no matter how pretty you are, I want you, like when we close the doors and we're home, I want to know that you can have me on your lap and just like take care of me. Mm-hmm. Right? And just kind of like, that's my time. That's my love language. Let's just say that.
Quality time?
Not quality times, but service.
Acts of service. Got it.
Right? I'm actually bad at quality time. I'm saying that. I know if she's listening, she's going to be like, because I'll be like, being an entrepreneur, my phone is ringing.
You're doing like 10 different things while she's here trying to pluck out the hair. Yeah, on your phone.
She'll be like, put the phone away. Like, she's like, Hamish, we are at a restaurant. Like, look at me. Right? And so I'm actually bad there. But service is big. So that's the one thing. Number 3, make sure somehow you work out.
So active and fit.
Yes.
Okay.
You don't have to look fit at that moment, like prior to that. But just make sure that you take health and fitness seriously, because that's one thing that that's my lifestyle, right? Like I eat healthy. I'm into a certain lifestyle, and I don't necessarily want you in the gym every day, but try to do something where you at least go, because if we don't have that in common, I don't want another girl to steer me from you.
Wait.
I'm just saying.
But wouldn't you say to that person, instead of you being stolen, I say that in air quotes, hey, you might want to get on this, because it's important, not for necessarily for me, but for you, it's an important thing just for your life and longevity.
And I do.
But the way you said it, it kind of sounded like, she just, she's been getting a little big. She ain't been hitting the gym as much. No, that girl over there, I just met it. That's how it sounded. So I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, no, I know. And I'm sorry if he come out like that. What it is really is that unlike what people think, I'm not attracted to women who look too muscular. Mm-hmm. Right? I'm not. So while I spend a lot of time in the gym, while I might be that guy who has all the muscles showing up at times, what I want, though, is a woman to look like, typical woman, so to speak, but to hit the gym as much as she can and to eat healthy. Because if there's one thing that I know is once those babies come, your body won't look the same. So today, what's being portrayed as the thick, nice big booty type of thing, to me, I look at it and I'm like, I try to fast forward. I'm like, what is she gonna look like after 2 babies? If I feel like you're gonna be like more like on the heavy side, and I'm gonna have to work extra hard to get you in the gym, it ain't happening.
But okay, like we were saying before, when she's sitting on the couch and your head's in her lap, does it matter? So I'm not talking from, let's just pretend health isn't a part of it.
And I'm going to,
because one can be healthy and have a different body type.
But actually, to be honest with you, the body type is more like, okay, so it might not matter at that time, right, while we're on the couch, but guess where it would matter? When we go in a bedroom. Because I'm also visual. Like we may, like maybe not all of everybody, but I am. Where, I like to have sex with the light on. Mm-hmm. Where some people would turn it off. Mm-hmm. Why? Because I want to be able to see. I want to be able to see and appreciate what I'm my girl, right? But the thing is, like, it also has to match what I have in my head.
But that's gonna change at some point. Like everybody, you're not always gonna be this muscular and fit.
Probably, but guess what?
And a woman is not, regardless of 2 kids or no kids. Like our bodies and just we age.
And to me,
so I mean, are you going to accept that at some point?
Yes and no, in a sense that. So I'm one who believes, right, that I meet you today. And I look a certain way, and you like me. Now we just put the health aside, because the health part is actually big on it, right? Mm-hmm. Just to be clear to everybody out there. Like, Just like if somebody, like I actually broke up with a girl that I really liked because I found out she smoked. So to me, the health part is big. I want to live longer. I don't understand. Right. But let's just put that aside. When it comes to the physical part of it, I meet you today and I look a certain way. There's some things also that you saw in me that physically attracted you to me. And so I feel like it's also my duty to make sure that 10 years from now, as the next 10 years go, that I try to keep myself up for you as well and for me. Because, again, this world out here, and remember, let's go back to the fact that I'm 6'10". Not to say whatever, right? But we know what happened with Tristan Thompson, right? The truth is...
That's a bad example. Well, that's just a bad example.
No, okay, so we'll open that if you want, but I have an opinion there. The point that I was trying to make here is I am not necessarily exposed to the same thing than an average, so to speak. Again, I'm saying that with no arrogance at all. But as a guy who's 5'9", whatever, 160, whatever, would see or would have. So my thing is like, I want to be able to go out with my woman or without my woman and be like, oh, I'm good. You might be hot today, but my woman is the bomb too. And my woman looks good. And that's really what it is. And it's not even about that, it's about other people. But what I'm saying is like, at the end of the day, to me, I'm visual. Like, remember, I was a trainer for a while. And so I appreciate the woman's body. And not to say that, I'm not saying that when you think you're not beautiful. I love, thickness. I love hips. But what I'm saying is like, there's a difference between that and letting yourself go. What really I don't want to see is letting yourself go. And I'm saying that from experience. As a trainer, I have had women who have come to me after having kids and saying, hey, I want to look like what I looked like. I want you to help me get back to what I looked like when I got married 10 years ago. And you look at the picture, you look at them today, they look like two different people. And yes, the woman's body changes. I get that. But also your lifestyle. A lot of it is how much wine you drink every day, how much you eat every day, that stuff that you don't really need to eat.
I'm not disagreeing with any of that in terms of health is important. But I think the bigger piece, more so than wanting a woman who fits into a certain body type, is wanting a woman who is comfortable with the type that she is in.
Right.
I think, you know what I'm saying? Right. So I think the issues come in a relationship based on when it comes to physical traits, when the person themselves is not comfortable with it. So if you are with somebody and every day they're like complaining and they're not feeling good about themselves, I think that's when it's a problem. But if you're a thick girl and you're like, I feel good and I feel great and your spirit is there and your health is there, like, I don't see an issue with your body changing over time as long as you are comfortable with it and you feel good in your own skin.
Right. Now,
I don't want nobody around me complaining all day. Like, I feel like this because da-da-da. As long as you are good with you.
Now, the key word is thick. Thick, I have no problem with that. Fat is what I have a problem with. Now, remember.
And that's a preference.
Right. And that's also subjective, right?
Right.
But to me, I'm looking at it from the health stand. And by fat, what I mean by this is that there's something that's actually a fact. If your stomach is bigger than your waistline, than the belt, that's not healthy.
Right. And I'm not saying... my only issue with any of this is it's okay to have your type. Like, if you're walking down the street and there's a bigger girl and you're like, that's not really my type, that's fine. My only issue is when you are in a committed relationship with somebody, I don't think it's sort of fair to feel like, well, if somebody else, with a different body type comes along, you might be on the chopping block. I might get stolen.
To me, I actually look at it from a different perspective. To me, it's more like, oh, yes, I know I got my girl, but I also want her every time she sees another man to know that she's got a bad one. It all depends on how you look at it. I look at it like, I want my girl to know that she got me, but at the same time, there might be some bad ones and there's always going to be. But for me to be reminded that I got a bad one too. And that's all I'm saying. Is that now, again, I just want to make sure that I say this. I actually don't have a type. if I show you my ex-girlfriends, you would see they range from like, first of all, even, skin color, black, white, Asian, or whatever. I love my sisters, that's for sure. But here's the thing, is that physically, from skinny to thick to whatever, they are from all different types. So I wouldn't say that. But to me, I'm just like, I know how it can slip out of your hand, and I've seen women like that, and I've spoken to their husbands where they're like, I love her way how she is, and the woman tells me, I don't feel sexy, and because of that, he has affected their sex lives. He has affected a lot of things, and I'm just like, to me, I just trying to prevent all of that. So yes, I may have made it sound like it was more like from a selfish standpoint, but there's all the things that we did not talk about that to me really matters, that go into that, where I'm like, there's only so much good that can come out of it. At the end of the day, what I want is the person is to look their best, to try to look their best. And while your body won't look the same, hell, my body doesn't look the same way that I looked 5 years ago, 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I could have a pizza and I still had a 6-pack. In fact, I had a 10-pack, but today I have to watch what I eat now because of my age, and my metabolism has slowed down.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm gonna try to hit the gym. I'm gonna try to do this because guess what? I'm not only doing that for my own self-confidence. I'm not only doing that for the person that I'm gonna end up, having a family with. I'm doing that for my kids. I'm doing that for trying to, what I'm saying? Like trying to stay as long, because there's other things that we don't really talk about that to me are very important. But
right.
Yeah, in bed though, I want to see
lights on.
Yes, I just don't want you to change like 100% from like what you used to look like 10 years ago, right? And if I try to do my best to stay somewhat the same. In fact, my girl or anybody I'm seeing will tell you, if I'm seeing someone, sometimes I put on weight, sometimes I lose weight, I'll always ask him, how do you want me to look? What do you think about me if I leave my beard? Do you like me better when I'm shaving?
Right.
Do you like me better when I have my beard? Their opinions matter to me.
Right.
Right? And so the same way, I just want it to be mutual.
So where can folks reach you to find out about your app and stuff like that?
iTunes, MobiPT, MobiPT. We're building a new app. I got some exciting people jumping on there. Terry Crews, Floyd Mayweather. We launched a new version next year. But the website is www.mobipt.com. They can find me on Instagram as Hamish Ganga, or the Steve Jobs of fitness.
Well, this has been an interesting chat.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you came on. Yes, thank you. And thank you guys for listening today. And please reach out to me and let me know what you think of the show at Tennesha Wood on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And until next time, wish me love. Hello again, my lovely listeners. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of DRL. If you like the show, be sure to go on iTunes and leave a rating and also write a review. And don't forget to share with your friends and tell them all about DRL. Thank you so much for supporting.